Hello sunshines, welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on all of the internet places. How are you? I'm going to take a little step back. I feel like I'm too close. Okay. Hi, how are you? I am doing pretty good. I am excited because today I am starting like kind of a challenge. So I had never heard of this before, but Ange over at Yarn and Yarns a few years ago started a challenge to cast on 12 things in December times. I don't exactly know. I'm going to link her video where she talks about it this year because I don't watch her vlog. I hadn't come across her before, but I heard about it from Jen over at Stash Down Diaries. I knew it would come to me. She is doing this, and then I heard Alice, Soxy Nana Alice, talking about it, and I was like, ooh, 12 cast-ons. Do I have enough things that I already know that I want to make in 2026 that I could cast on now, because I hate casting on. Hate it. I also hate binding off. So I was like, ooh, I could like start these projects, get the part that I don't like out of the way, and then you have 12 projects that you don't even have to finish within the year. You just have them started. Everything that I'm going to start, I want to be finished in 2026. So, do you want to see what I want to work on in 2026? You do? Fantastic. The first thing is a wedding blanket for my cousin. She's getting married in August. So, hard deadline, right? And the pattern does not call for a foundation double crochet row. It calls for a chain and then go back and double crochet, and I don't like that because then like inevitably the chain looks weird and it has weird tension. So I am doing a foundation double crochet, and there are more than 200 stitches, and I don't like doing that, and I don't want to. So I'm going to be working on this intermittently between starting all of my other projects. So by the end of this process, I will have this cast on. So at the end of the video, I will have this started and hopefully have more than just the beginning foundation piece. At this moment, because I starting this earlier this month, I don't know, last week I think. It's December 24th right now. This is going to go through very many days. I started it last week, I think. I have 80 stitches, so not even halfway there. But, you know, if I can get 10 to 20 stitches put on the hook in between each project, then by the end of putting on all of the other projects, this will be cast on. And this is the most arduous start. So I'm excited to get started on that. My next cast on is using Nymph Dyeworks Extended Inversible set in the White Stripes Vibe colorway. So it's this. I made a pair of fingerless mitts for my kid's dad, and now I'm going to make a pair for myself. So this is what I have left after making his pair. I'm not going to make fingers on mine, but I am going to use this for the thumbs. So my plan is to start here, work my way down, and make the cuff as long as I can make the cuff. But I also think I want to put this in my bias stripe blanket. So that's actually where I'm going to start, is by putting each of these in the blanket before casting on the mitts. I am back, and here is start number 2. So it's looking pretty good, right? I have done all of the ribbing that I want to do at the top, and so now it's just stockinette. So because the ribbing is more like brain intensive, I wanted to get all of that done, and I am going to put this away to be picked up later. And I am going to go ahead and wind the yarn for my next start. Look at this beautiful yarn. This is Keenan hand-dyed yarn, and the colorway is Siren Song. Oh, that's so fun, because I just finished listening to a book called The Sirens. I have to use this yarn for my reading blanket, right? Okay, so my plan is to make a Musselburgh, minus enough to make a square for my blanket, minus enough to put a square into my my mitered square blanket. So it'll be a slightly less, just a very, very slightly less slouchy Musselburgh. And I am going to do what I did the first time I made a Musselburgh, which is, because this is a hand-dyed yarn, the color saturation is going to vary throughout the skein. That's just the way it works. And did I say that I got this while I was on vacation this year? And this is the last skein of yarn that I purchased this year that I haven't yet worked up into something. Look at me meeting my goals. I am going to, also because I don't like the way increases look. I just don't. I just much prefer the look of a decrease. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provisionally cast on from the outside of the ball and knit I'm going to cast on like the full circumference of the hat, and then knit a couple rounds, and then decrease, and then reattach that yarn to the bottom of the hat where it's provisionally cast on. Then I'm going to knit down a tube, and at some point when I'm feeling feisty again, I am going to, from the inside of the yarn, do the same thing, provisionally cast on, do the decreases, and then cut that yarn, set it aside, and knit the main portion of the hat until I have just enough yarn left to graft the hat together. So in order to start this project, I need to wind it. I need to make a square for my reading blanket, make a square in my mitered square blanket, and then provisionally cast it on. I guess I should do the whole decrease section, right? In order to consider this project really, really cast on, and then maybe start the body in the round. That's a reasonable start. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, I'm really excited. I was not planning on making a square out of this, but now I have to. Cast on number 3 is cast on. Did I say I was making the Musselburgh, or did I say I was making a hat inspired by the Musselburgh? Because it's definitely inspired by. It's not the pattern. I don't have the pattern. I've never read the pattern, but I have seen a ton of people make it, and so I kind of deduced my own thing for it. So I did provisionally cast on by doing Judy's Magic Cast-on for the number of cast-on stitches I wanted. If you look at my hat and you look at, oh, that's so pretty. If you look at that and you look at a Musselburgh, the increase decrease points are totally different. So it's pretty, and now it's just going to be a long tube until I decrease, but it's started, it's going, and my next cast on is a coordinating project with this. Ooh, my heat's about to kick in. I hope that's not too loud. So my next project is different yarn, but I feel like they coordinate. Like they're not the same, obviously, but they coordinate, which is cool because what I want to make with this is a pair of mittens. This is a partial skein of cattails yarn. I think it's the Russian blue base, which is 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 10% silver stellina. I would bet money that this is that because it's got the sparkle. I don't have the tag for this color though, because this is not Gleeman's Cloak. This is Black Aja, which is possibly my favorite cattails yarn color because it's this like charcoaly base, but then it has all of the other colors in it for the different ajas. So it's got blues and yellows and greens and just splashes. It's so beautiful. So I am going to make a pair of mittens for myself out of this, and I guess technically, if you wanted to make the same sort of thing, it's going to be Tin Can Knits World Simplest Mittens pattern, but I'm not actually going to use any of their numbers, but I am going to use their increase rate for their thumb gusset because that works really, really well for my thumb. And I've just made so many pairs of fingerless mitts and stuff that I have my own numbers. So I'm pretty sure that this should get me a pair of mittens, no problem. I did use this yarn to knit the heels and toes in 2 pairs of socks. So I don't know how much is here. Enough to make mittens, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to start that and have a not matching set of things, but like a coordinating set. Because I, not that it matters, but I have a dismissal duty. I work at a school. And I have to take students who walk outside and then like walk them a little ways from the school. And it's chilly. I'm not outside for a really, really long time. Like it's not a full on dismissal duty where I'm outside for the entire duration of dismissal. But we're going into the cold months. So like December is not really a cold month. February is a cold month. So yeah, I'm hoping to have those 2 things done by February, which is why I'm casting them on now. And I'll be back when this is cast on. All right, sunshines. I finished the cuff of the first mitten for kind of the world's simplest mitts. No pattern going on. I'm not going to put any texture on them. I'm just going to make some mittens. But that's finished, which means I'm keeping it, I'm keeping it in this cute bag. And the maker does not make project bags anymore as far as I know, but it's so cute. All right, so I'm going to wind this, and I'm actually going to cast this on at my boyfriend's house because I'm going to go hang out with him. So the next time you see this, there's probably going to be some puppy glitter on it, but it's fine. Oh, isn't it so pretty? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. This is SlipKnot Studios. I don't know if they're still selling yarn because this skein, according to the date on the tag, is from October 15th, 2015. So this skein of yarn, I'm pretty sure I did not purchase this. I'm pretty sure this came to me as a gift, as a lot of my yarn did. Much of my stash has been gifted to me, which is so, so lovely. Or maybe I got it at like a yarn swap from the ZK. I don't remember. But it's so pretty. The colorway is Emerald Isle, and it's a 75-25. The pattern that I'm going to use for these is called Diamondback, which is a pattern that I've had for a long time. And it is, if you've been here for a hot minute, you might remember that I went through this like obsession with this pattern called Zipper Lexicon, and I still love it. I still love Zipper Lexicons. This reminds me kind of Zipper Lexicons, except instead of being like modular pieces, it's short row pieces. And I do not love short rows the way that I love modular knitting, but I think it's going to look incredible in this yarn. So my goal is to just get through the cuff of this and then come back to you. But I, at this exact moment, don't really have any portable knitting that I can just like take over to his house. I just don't. Unless I take one of these new projects that I'm starting. So I don't know, maybe it'll be more than a cuff by the time you see it. Oh my gosh, that color is so fun. All right, I have to get to winding. So I could just look at this on the screen of my phone forever though. It's so pretty. And I think I'm going to make this for my sister. Although I'm tempted to make it for my aunt, but I don't know because of the weird construction. Like, I'm worried that if I make it for my aunt, it'll be too small. If I make it for my sister, I can try it on and it'll be okay because her feet are just a little bit smaller than my feet. So if like it's fitting me okay, it'll fit her fine. Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Hey, sunshines. So I ended up changing my plan because this yarn is striping. And I should have realized that when I was looking at the skein. I was just so excited because these colors are so gorgeous. So I'm going to make these socks for my aunt because I think she's going to love the colors. I think she's just going to, yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful. So what I'm doing is a pattern, although I'm not really doing the pattern, but I am doing the pattern. It is called Partying Up and Getting Down Socks by Megan Williams. And I've made this pattern, I don't know, at least 4 times. So I didn't actually look up the pattern, even though I haven't made this pattern in probably 5 or 6 years. I didn't look up what I needed to do because I know what to do for the setup. So if it's wrong, it's because I didn't look it up. But I got through the cuff and I just didn't have another pattern with me, and I didn't want to download something on my phone. So I do know how to make this. This is the getting down version. So the stripes are going to chevron pointing downward on the leg and foot. And I could have probably done this first row a little better, but it's fine. It's fine. And the colors are so, so pretty, and it's cast on, and it's in a good place to just pick up and go. Like, this is so good even for work knitting because there is a little bit of pattern, but it's so minimal that I can do it at work. So my next cast on is going to be Diamondback socks. It's going to be using this. It is going to be for my sister. It is, that ball of yarn is going to fall, I can tell. Oh my gosh, what is this called? Spartickes Dyeworks, Spartickes yarns. I don't know. Marigale hasn't dyed in a really, really long time. I have this. It's the Will and Grace sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And the colorway is Ferris wheel. It's from the County Fair Club. So I'm pretty sure that this was sent to me by Haley because I didn't get that club. But it's so bright and pretty and cheery and not self-striping. I'm super, super sure. Watch me come back and it was a self-striping. The only time Marigale would have dyed a self-striping is the time that I say it's not self-striping. So this should work better for the Diamondback socks. I'm so excited. So I'm going to wind this up and get it started. Oh, this is project number 6 that is cast on. And I could not be more pleased with how, with how the Sidewinder pattern is, not Sidewinder, Diamondback pattern is working up. Look at that. I've got my first row of diamonds. Aren't they cool? Oh my gosh. And I only stopped because I didn't have the next part of the pattern with me on purpose so that I would actually stop. But I totally see these being picked up very quickly after the cast-ons are all cast on. That's the last sock project that I have. Do I have so many more socks that I want to cast on? Yes. But tragically, I am out of 9-inch circulars. I have a pair of DPNs and I have a long circular needle. Could I do it on there? Yes. Would I find it enjoyable? No. So my next project that I'm starting is crochet. So I'm veering into crochet for a hot minute. So my 7th start, I have 4 skeins of this Yarn Bee Soft Secret. I'm not sure where it came from. Someone gave it to me because I don't shop at Hobby Lobby, but 4 skeins is enough to do a lot of baby things. So what I'm going to do is make a rainbow ripple baby blanket for my coworker's daughter who's having the baby. The same one that I made the sleep sack for. I'm going to make a baby blanket. And which side is the right side? Okay. So I actually started it because I had to like clear off some space on my phone and whatever, sat down and I got it started. So here it is. Isn't it cute? Aquila, the lefty knitter, has made so many of these and they're so, so cute. And I've got the beginning portion finished. So now it's a 3-round repeat. And so I'm ready to just work those rounds. I'm using a size H hook. I really want this to be done by the end of January, this particular project. Because the baby's due in springtime and I would just like it to be done. So that was number 7. So 8 and 9 could be considered the same thing, but they're not. This year, for Leadership Appreciation Week, I want to make the leadership team something cute. So I have a screenshot on my phone of a positive potato, and I want to make them motivational monsters. So I have this pattern. It's called Loopy's Mini Monster, and someone sent me a kit for this forever ago. And I started a monster for myself and I got this far. I got this far years ago. I've not finished it. Maybe this will give me the motivation to finish this little monster because it just needs arms and a face and if I'm going to do hair or not. So anyway, for these monsters that I'm going to start, so projects 8 and 9, I am going to use this Bernat Baby in this pink color. It's color 00469. And I have 2 balls of this. Someone gave it to me. I'm not going to make anything for a baby anytime soon out of fingering weight yarn, which is what this is. So I'm going to use it to make monsters. So one's going to be just solid pink, and one is going to be pink and black because I have a black acrylic fingering weight yarn. I don't know what exactly that's going to look like, but you know, I kind of want each monster to have personality, so I'm envisioning that the all pink monster is going to have like a tutu. I'm going to knit it a little tutu. I'm thinking. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to get those started with Magic Loop and just get them started to the part where they're just stockinette. I'm going to use US size 1, and then once I get through the increases, hold on, let me check how many stitches there are. Are there enough to put it on a 9-inch circular? It might be tight. I might honestly make it just a little bit bigger so that I can go on a 9-inch circular. But both of my 9-inch circulars are my size 1 US 9-inch circulars are being used to make socks, so I have to wait for those. But I can at least get through the increases, right? That'll be a good place to start. Okay, so what is this? 7 and 8? No, 8 and 9. The monsters are cast on. So I did end up increasing to slightly bigger than the pattern suggests, because now it's just round and round and round, but I would much rather do that on a 9-inch circular than working Magic Loop. So these are going to be put on hold for a few days. I think I should have those needles clear by the end of December. And then down to the final 3 projects, right? I have this very beautiful Alegria Grande Manos del Uruguay in the colorway Olive. And I have 3 balls of this because a long time ago, back when I used to work at the yarn shop, I wanted to make a sweater. But the reality is I don't really wear my hand knit sweaters. I haven't worn any of my hand knit sweaters this winter season at all. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make a hat, cowl, mitten set. And I'm going to not cheat, but cheat, because this was the neckband of the sweater. Isn't it beautiful? So I am just going to bind it off, sew up the side, and have it be a cowl. So that's not going to be part of my cast-ons. But my next 2 cast-ons are going to be a hat and a pair of, do I think mittens or do I think fingerless mitts? I kind of think fingerless mitts, because then they're like more useful for longer, and I'm already making myself a pair of mittens. Hey, sunshines. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So I'm making a barley hat with this because I kind of want to make, would they be like rye mittens, barley mittens? I don't know. Basically world's simplest mitts, but with a garter stitch panel, just, you know, for interest. And I think it'll be cute with the ribbed cowl. And I'm super pleased that it's through the brim, and now it's not vanilla knitting because it has that garter stitch panel, but it's basically vanilla knitting, so I can take it anywhere. And I know I said I was going to do the mitts too, but I'm not casting those on right now because I really want to start a cross stitch. Look how cute that is. And my best friend loves Maleficent, and so I could make this for her. So like I really want to start it. I have to make it for her. This can be so cute. I'm excited. And then number 12, I'm nervous about number 12, but I'm excited. This is the actual last thing that I acquired this year that hasn't been started yet. And hair. Sorry, I was outside in the cold. It's this beautiful Supernova Dyeworks hand-dyed in Michigan fiber. It's 100% superwash merino wool, 215 microns, and the colorway is Pondering My Orb. This might not get finished in 2026, but I really want it to, but I'm planning on spindle spinning it because I still just don't want to pull out my wheel. Like, I thought about it and I was like, nah, I don't want to. So yeah, I'm gonna start these and then check back in with you and wrap this up before it gets way too long. All right, sunshines, I am back with my last two starts and my first start for 2026 to get myself set up. So I'm actually really excited that I decided to go with a cross stitch for one of my starts because I have not a ton of little cross stitch kits, but I do have a handful that I actually want to make. Like I got them because I want to make them. And I have 3 cross stitch / embroidery pieces that are works in progress. A coffee one, which I was supposed to work on last summer and totally did not, a cactus and plants one that a student got for me 2 years ago. And then if you've been here forever, so I'm talking about like Allison, do you remember? Carrie, do you remember that giant fairy cross stitch that I started way back in Kentucky? I still have it. I eventually someday want to make it, and so it feels nice to be cross stitching. Anyway, here's Maleficent, and I did 56 stitches to completion. The ones that are half stitches right now I didn't count, but 56 to completion, and there's only 224 cross stitches. Then there's a bunch of like back stitching for details and stuff, but I did a quarter of the stitches in one sitting. Like I really just barely started this, but how cool to get so far. Ta-da! Okay, and then I did start spinning just a little teeny bit because first I had to prep my fiber. I'm going to say this and it's going to not be true. Okay, but I'm kind of doing a fractal-ish. So I have this braid that is the fiber split into smaller pieces. I don't measure by grams. I just let the fiber split where it wants to split. So I have this. And I have this braid, which is roughly half. Again, I didn't weigh it. Roughly half, but not split into bigger pieces. So this braid is going to have longer pops of the color, and the other is going to have shorter pops. However, what I'm going to do is a 3-ply. I'm just going to kind of let the fiber, the plies do what they want. But I did want like longer blips of color and shorter blips of color. So I maybe spun, I don't know, 10 minutes on this, which is a good enough portion of time for me. I said that I might not finish this in 2026, but I actually kind of really want to. So I'm going to try to daily spin at least 10 minutes on this. I feel like Do I think that 3,000 minutes of time is enough to finish a whole braid on a drop spindle? Not really, but then there will be time, like in summer, where I have breaks where I could spin a little more. Maybe I can like intentionally on spring break spin a little more. Maybe 2 10-minute segments a day. I don't know. I haven't made an exact plan, but those are my thoughts because this fiber is beautiful. This spindle is beautiful. It's a Golding that my friend gave to me, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It was longer, but I don't remember if I snapped the spindle or if one of my kids snapped the spindle. I don't remember, but it used to be longer. It used to be like this long. So it doesn't hold a ton of fiber now. But yeah, it's just a really nice mindful practice on a drop spindle. And I think I could use some of that. And now back to my first start. Ta-da-ta-da. Okay, so let me start at the start. So I made a mistake. I did a foundation double crochet that was 2 stitches too long, which when you're counting over 200 stitches, only messing up by 2 stitches, I'm okay with it. And I would much rather have 2 too many stitches than 2 too few stitches, because I can just, I'll do it right now. Not all of it, but like I can just untie this double crochet section and get it to a normal, like I could just take these 2 stitches out and nobody's going to know that they were there. And I would still always choose to do a foundation double crochet versus chain over 200 stitches and then maybe have too few stitches, or have that that chain at the beginning be too tight. Okay, so there we are. I just have to like take the yarn back through these 2 stitches and nobody will be able to tell that I took those out. Anyway, do you want to see the blanket? This is the side-by-side blanket. And so there are several different textures on this blanket, and it is just, I guess I have a preferred wedding blanket that I would like to give to people because I just think it turns out so beautiful and so lovely, and it's big, and I like the symbolism behind the blanket. The designer designed it as a wedding blanket, so yeah, I just really like it. So now I have 12 things that I can intentionally work on in 2026. Did you join in on the cast-on party? I'm not going in for prizes. I just really, really, really liked the concept of having these things ready and started and easy to grab and go. Because if you follow me, you know that sometimes I don't have grab and go knitting. So now I have 4 projects that are just grab and go knitting, something around there. And I also have a start on a couple big projects that I wanted to do anyway. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing, is things that they wanted to do anyway, so they're just getting it started. All right, thank you so much for joining me in this journey. I hope to see you back here again, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now, friends.